Okay, we are looking at the main page of ParalegalSpace now, and this is where you will log in. So you should have all received your login information with username and password. If you did not get that email, and a couple went out today for some new folks, but generally they all went out around September 8th or so, please do look in your spam folder. Paralegal emails sometimes at the outset have a bad habit of making their way into spam, so please do adjust your settings to make sure we make it into your inbox. But please do check your spam. If you still don't see it, reach out to me and I will happily point you in the right direction. But let us log in. Slowly but surely. Okay. All right, so now this first page that we are looking at is your workspace, and there are only two things that you are going to do on your workspace. The first one is under the Account tab, and this is where you can change your password. So click on Account and then click on Modify Details. Enter your current password, the one I sent you, create and verify a new password, and click on Update Details. Also, while you're in here, please do make sure that the email that is programmed into the site is the one that you would like to use for the program. As you probably already noticed, when we post announcements and syllabi and assignments and such, you will receive an automatic email notification from the site. So we want to make sure that those emails are going where you'd like them to go. So please make sure your email is correct here. Once you have changed your password, in the event the next time or some point thereafter you log into the site and you receive an invalid login message, don't fear, it happens. There is no password reset button outside of the site though, so if you are locked out of the site for some reason, please just drop me a quick email and I will reset you as quickly as possible. It's one of the easiest emails I get in life, and of course I don't want you to be locked out of the site for any period of time. Just reach out and I'm happy to help. But so here under the Account tab, check your email and you can update your password. Now, the other thing you are going to do under your workspace is under the Preferences tab, and this is where you will update your time zone. Now, this paralegal program is taught at universities around the country, and everybody uses the same website. So our tech team advised when everybody starts off, we all need to be on the same time zone. Now, they are in Mountain Time, so they started us all on Mountain Time. They're the only ones on Mountain Time though, so we all need to adjust upon logging in. So to do that, you're going to click on Preferences, then you'll click on Time Zone, and you will choose US/Eastern, US/Eastern. Choose that, update preferences, and you are good to go. But please do update your time zone. All of your exams and assignments will be timed on ParalegalSpace. They'll have certain open and close times, and if you're on the wrong time zone, you don't want to be shut out from making a submission. So please do be sure that you take care of that. Now again, those are the only two things that you're going to do on your workspace. Everything else you will do will happen under your PACE tab at the top of the page. Now we have students from all of the different sections here tonight, so you're not going to see the tab that looks exactly like the one you are going to click on, but it does say PACE, so click on the PACE tab at the top of your page. Now, you can see over here on the left-hand side there are a series of black links. We're going to click through each one of these this evening. But over here you can also see there are some recent announcements. We love to communicate with you via announcement, which you probably have already discovered. It's a great way to convey information to the whole class. It's a great way to keep a record of the information we've conveyed to the whole class. If for some reason you would like to see my welcome announcement 3 months months from now, read those words of wisdom, you can click here over on the announcement tab and pull up older announcements. Now this isn't a real good indication of how this works because there are only 3 announcements posted and we're just showing 1 to 3 of 3. But certainly if there were more, and as you know, your announcements on each one of your respective sites are starting to build up already, you could just pull up additional items by clicking in the drop-down box and showing more items. Now, when an announcement is posted, you will receive an email notification with the body of the announcement, so you'll know right away what we're sharing with you. I would recommend each time you log into the site that you just do a quick sweep here of the announcements to make sure you haven't missed anything. And in particular, and we'll get into this a little bit more when we talk about assignments, when you see these assignment open date announcements, these announcements are not automatically emailed to you. These are the only ones that are not automatically emailed to you. So please do just look over here real quick when you log in to make sure you're not missing anything, and in particular to look for these assignment announcements. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But please do pay attention to the announcements. We are sharing information with you that we feel is helpful, that you need to know, whether it be about a class change, a classroom change. I've been posting a lot of navigation and various other welcome odds and ends kinds of announcements recently, so please do pay attention to those and take a look because they do have important information for you. Now basically what we're going to do is just click through each one of these tabs. I'm going to be going through, obviously, a lot of information with you tonight. Hopefully you've all had a chance to click around already and you're getting comfortable, so some of it will seem very old hat, some of it may seem a little bit new, but don't feel as if you have to take in every single word I'm saying right in this moment. I'm going to be following up with announcements, as you've already seen. I'm always happy to answer questions from students, so please do feel free to reach out to me if we went through something tonight and then tomorrow for some reason you can't find it or just don't remember where it is or have a follow-up question. I'll say this now for the first time, but not for the last time this evening. My email address, svp@ParalegalSpace.com. Okay, now let's start clicking through things. Syllabus. This is, of course, where your syllabi will be posted. Now, the main program syllabus has been posted on each one of your respective sites. Please do take a look at it. This is the White Plains syllabus, but it is exactly the same format as all of the other syllabi. All of your essential skills, assignments, reading, writing, exams, etc. are in gray, whether it's on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, depending upon what section you are in. But please do take a look at this, print it out, keep track of things. Certainly you'll know, at least here for the White Plains class, but for all of you in all of your classes, that say during week 8, your first writing assignment is going to be assigned and it will be due during week 10. So you can gauge your time accordingly and make sure that you get your work in and you get everything done. On the right-hand side of this particular syllabus, you can see the substantive schedule. Just the schedule on the main program syllabus, because each one of your individual instructors will, substantive instructors will post his or her own syllabi with reading assignments prior to the start of class. Okay. And if there are any updates to the syllabus, as White Plains, you guys know, we already made one update to the White Plains syllabus because of the LSATs being held at the law school. I think it's next week. So any updates that we make to the syllabus, we will post an updated version and let you know that that's being posted. Okay, pair student login, this is where you can find your study support. I actually saved the best for last. I saved this tab for the end. So we're going to skip it for now and keep moving right along. We already talked about announcements. You can find them all here. Assignments. Assignments. All of your assignments are posted on ParalegalSpace. They will be submitted on ParalegalSpace, and they will be graded and returned to you on ParalegalSpace. So when an assignment is posted, again, as I mentioned earlier, you will see here under recent announcements an announcement that says assignment open date for, and whatever the assignment is. Now, when you see that announcement, that is your cue to go over here to the Assignments tab to take a look at that assignment. So you'll click on Assignments and then the link for the assignment itself. Now, the first thing that you are going to want to take a look at, and of course, this is a practice assignment that I have posted on each one of the sites for all of you. I would recommend that you give this a try at least once. If you have any technical issues, I'm certainly happy to work with you to make sure that when you're posting an actual assignment, it is seamless. It's much easier to troubleshoot tech issues during a practice assignment than it is, 5 minutes before your actual assignment is due. Things can get a little bit stressful then. So what you will do is when you see that open date for assignment announcement, you will come into assignments, click on your assignment, and the first thing you're going to take a look at is the due date and time, date and time. So now you know where the time zone comes in. All of your work is due on or before the due date and time set out in a particular assignment. So now this is a practice assignment, so of course the due date is set way out, and you can submit this assignment as many times as you want to practice. For actual assignments, you will only have an opportunity to submit it once, but for this practice, you may submit it as many times as you want. For an actual assignment, it will not be set out that far, the due date and time. But if you were to click into this practice assignment on December 16th at 6:01 p.m. to submit a practice assignment, you would find that there would not be an opportunity for you to submit such an assignment. Once the due date and time comes and goes, the assignment closes for any submissions. So that's why the due date and the time, and then your time zone, of course, are so very important. Also, in law in general, and you'll be talking about this a lot over the course of the semester, due dates are very important. Deadlines are vitally important. One of my favorite lines from an info session, so if you were with me at an info session, you probably heard me say this: if a judge has set a motion schedule and your motion is due on September 21st, if on September 22nd the judge doesn't have your motion, he or she is not going to call you and ask where it is. He or she is just going to rule against you, but worse, rule against your client. So you do want to keep very close track of your due dates and times and get your work in on or before the due dates. So when you are submitting work on ParalegalSpace, you will both copy and paste your work into this text box right here, and you will attach your work as a Word or PDF document. You'll do both. So copy and paste right here and attach as a document. The main troubleshooting I have to do when it comes to submitting assignments is in the copying and pasting. I will post helpful hints for submitting assignments announcement. One of the things that I always like to do when I am copying and pasting my work into the text box is to click in either this paste as plain text icon and copy in here, and then it will be moved over, or click on the paste from Word icon and copy from there. Same kind of idea, copy then from the box and it will move over. That tends to alleviate any issues. Sometimes students will have issues with extra code popping up in their text box, But certainly if when you're working through the practice or even when you get to an actual assignment, if you find that you're having an issue with the copying and pasting, just let me know and I will work with you. But please do copy and paste and attach your document. It's just like attaching a document to an email. When you are ready to submit, you will click in the honor pledge box that you've neither given nor received aid on the assignment. We'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to the code of conduct discussion towards the end, but all of your work is your own. There are no group projects, there's nothing like that, so you'll click in the honor pledge and then you can go ahead and submit. Now if you are not ready to submit from the get-go, you can save it as a draft and go back and work on it. Just do be sure when you are saving something as a draft that you do ultimately submit it. You can preview it to see what it looks like on our end, but no matter what you do right here, don't forget to save or submit. Most importantly, don't forget to submit on or before the due date and time. Once you have submitted your work, the next window that will open will be thank you for your submission message. So you'll know that your work submitted properly. Now, if you were to go back to the assignment page, just 1 second, this is these little blue arrows here at the top. It's like an internal back button on ParalegalSpace. If you were to go back to the assignment list, once you have successfully submitted your assignment, underneath status, it will say submitted. So you can rest assured once you've seen that submitted message that your work has made it through to the instructor and admin end for your instructor to grade it. Okay, speaking of grades, and all of your assignments will be posted this way. So for all of essential skills, for all of your substantives, you will find your assignments under the assignments tab and you will post them there as well. Okay, gradebook. It's empty now because I don't get any grades anyway, but you guys will. Over the course of the semester, this will fill up very, very quickly. As grades are posted, you will get a notification letting you know that a grade is there. So you can click here into Gradebook and keep track of your grades. Okay, resources. Now this isn't the main area of study support for the program. That's under Pair Student Login, which we'll go through soon. But resources is where we will post additional materials, resources for you. I would encourage you to click in here, take a look around, see what is available. We have folders for all of your classes. There's a folder with timesheet templates. There's a folder with some Westlaw and Lexis information. We'll talk about that next. The paralegal manuals in digital form you can find here if you do not yet have your hard copy books or you don't want to drag them around with you, but you would like to keep up with your reading. You can find that here. I would encourage you again to click around, see what's available, see what is helpful. We will add to it over the course of the semester. For New York procedures, we don't have the same structured study support under the Pair Student tab as we do for the other courses. So resources is where you will find additional materials to help with that class. But please do click around and you'll see each one of the sites the resources tab may look a little bit different. You all have, for the most part, you all have different instructors. There's some overlap. Some instructors teach in several different sections, but so your resources tab may look a little bit different depending upon what class you're in, but in general you will find a lot of great stuff under resources, so please do explore it. Okay, Westlaw and Lexis. Everybody loves Westlaw and Lexis. Always very anxious to know when you'll get your codes. They will come within 2 to 3 weeks or so of your start date. When they are available, they will be left for you in your Dropbox on ParalegalSpace. We'll talk about that in a minute too. When they're posted, you will get an automatic email notification from the site, and I will also post an announcement to let you know that the codes are available. Now your Westlaw codes are good for the duration of the program, and your Lexis codes are good for 1 year from your start date, so you can keep researching even when the program is over. Now under both the Westlaw and Lexis tabs here on the site, On the left-hand side, you can click to go directly to the respective sites, and on the right-hand side, you can click to go to the various, to also log into the sites and go to various training modules and such. We strongly encourage you to work through the various trainings on the two sites. They are spectacular. Westlaw and Lexis have done an excellent job in putting together educational and navigation material to assist you in learning about both platforms, but also navigating them and researching and helping to find what you need to find. Being an efficient researcher is, of course, a very important skill, so I would strongly encourage you to click around and look at the resources available on those sites. They have webinars just like we're doing tonight, but they also have little videos that you can watch, little kind of 5-minute videos, how to find a statute on Lexis, how to search through secondary sources on Westlaw, things like that, and in really manageable doses, so to speak. So I would encourage you, once you get your Westlaw and Lexis codes, to click around and take a look at the various materials available on those sites. Now, when your Lexis codes are generated, you will get an email notification from Lexis with those codes. There's no email notification from Westlaw when the codes are generated, but when you get the Lexis code, you will see or you will know that your Westlaw code is soon to come. Now, again, when those codes are available, I will put them together for you with additional instructions in a Word document, and I will post that document here in your Dropbox on ParalegalSpace. Now, when I post them, you will again get an automatic email notification. Your Dropbox is for us to post things for you, and also if you would like to post things for yourself. If you find a great case online, or if you find a template you would like to take a look at, or whatever, you can put it in your Dropbox so it's close at hand for you to look at in the future. The reality is the only thing we really post for you in the Dropbox are your Westlaw and Lexis codes. But the one thing I will say about the Dropbox is you are the only one who knows that something is there. When something's posted there, again, you'll get that email notification. So please don't post your assignments. Don't submit your assignments in your Dropbox. They will all go via the Assignments tab. That's where they will be submitted, not in your Dropbox. Your instructors will not know that anything is in your Dropbox, and certainly if you submit an assignment there, we will think you did not submit your assignment. So leave it for Westlaw and Lexis and anything you would like to keep for yourself, but otherwise that is how Dropbox is used. Okay, chat room. This is an area of the site where you can chat with each other. Sometimes your instructors will go in there. You can use it or not use it as you see fit. Sometimes students will get right in and start chatting about classes and the law and setting up study groups. Sometimes classes won't use it at all. That's fine too. One class used it solely to plan where they were going to have drinks every Thursday night after class. So use it however you see fit. It's a great way to build, you know, the community in the classroom. You're all in this together, all learning about the law together, so sometimes you need to talk about that. The only request we make of you in the chat room is that you be respectful, you be kind. I mean, we make that request in all of your communications and in all of your interactions with instructors, admin, and fellow students. But certainly when you are in the chat room, keep that in mind. Be nice to each other. Okay, messages. Messages is an internal email function on ParalegalSpace. It is very convenient if you don't recall your instructor's email address, and all of your instructors will of course give their preferred email address to you so you can contact them. But if for some reason you can't find it, you don't recall what it is, messages function is a great way to reach out to them. Same thing for your fellow students. If you don't know their address but need to get in touch with them, this is a great way to do so. Now, there are two caveats for using this particular system. When you are getting ready to write a message, you will, of course, click on Compose Message. That's pretty self-explanatory. When it comes to choosing your recipient, all participants, of course, every single person who has access to the site, instructors and students. Instructor role, all of your instructors and admin. Student role, all of your fellow students. Now, whoever you decide you would like to write to, you'll click on their name and highlight it. If you would like to write to multiple people, hold down the Control key and click on the next name. I'm writing to myself twice. Okay, now the first caveat in using this system is please, 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 I can't even stress this enough, please, always click in this box right here. Send a copy of this message to a recipient's email address. This will ensure that your recipient knows immediately that he or she has received a message. When you click in this box, a copy of the email that you are sending here on ParalegalSpace is automatically sent to your recipient's email address that they have programmed into the site. So they'll know right away that they have a message on ParalegalSpace. Now, it's important to do this because certainly you would like your recipient to know right away that you have sent a message. If you don't click in this box, your recipient will not know unless and until he or she logs into the site and then affirmatively checks their messages the next time that there is a message waiting. Now, certainly if you need immediate assistance or if you have a question for your instructor and you would like to get a response in a reasonable time frame, you want to make sure that your recipient sees that message. So please, please always click in this box. Certainly I'm on the site pretty much every day. I expect that you guys will be on the site pretty much every day, but your instructors may not be on the site every day. So you want to make sure they see that message. Now, the other caveat is that when the message does go to your recipient's email address, the sender will be postmaster@paralegalspace.com. So your recipient will not be able to respond directly from his or her email. They'll have to come into messages and respond from here. So again, it's super convenient if you don't know what your recipient's email address is, but please do just make note of the two caveats I just shared with you in using the system. Otherwise, it is just like any other email. You'll type your subject, type the body of your message, and then go ahead and send. Okay, everybody's favorite. Next, tests and quizzes. Okay, just like your assignments, all of your exams in the program are going to be done online on ParalegalSpace. Now, for each one of your exams, you will have about a 1-week exam window, and at any time within that 1-week window, you can take the exam. So you can take it at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, really whatever works for you. Now, when an exam is posted, and the first exam is going to be your tort law exam, and everything that we're going to go through right now, again, like so much of what we're going through this evening, I'm going to post a follow-up announcement. But for your substantive classes, you can expect your exams to be posted usually within 2 or 3 days or so after the last class. When any exam is posted, we will post an announcement letting you know your tort law exam window is now open. It will remain open until September 28th at 10 p.m. So at any point in time between now and September 28th at 10 p.m., you can take that exam. Now, for the most part, except other than the comprehensive exam, which is usually get a little bit more time for that, all of your exams will be 1 hour. If you are still working on the exam and your hour is up, the exam will automatically close on you. So please do, try to get it all in that hour. Unless you are advised differently, and you probably won't be, all of your exams are closed book. It may seem counterintuitive that you're taking it, without a proctor in the class, at home, at work, forever, nobody's standing behind you and watching you take it. May seem counterintuitive that it's closed book. You know, what's to stop you from flipping through your book and looking for the answers? Well, not only is that a violation of the code of conduct, which we'll talk about in a minute, but if you're spending all your time flipping through your books looking for answers, you will not complete that exam. The exams are structured in such a way that you will not complete them if you are busily looking for the answers. And as I mentioned, once the time is up, once that hour is up for an exam, if you are not done, the exam will close and automatically submit for grading no matter where you are. So you want to make sure that you complete that exam so you can get all the points that you can. Now, once the exam window has closed, you can go into the exam, and I'm going to show you all this in a minute, but you can go into the exam and review it and get feedback and see what you got right, see what you got wrong. But as soon as you have completed the exam, the site will auto-grade it. So you can check your grade in your grade book. So you'll know right away what your grade is on an exam, but you won't be able to go back to review the entire exam until the day after the exam window closes. Now, once you see that announcement letting you know that an exam window is open, at any point in time during that 1-week window, you can click here into Tests and Quizzes and click on the link for the exam. Now, please do make sure that you are ready to take the exam when you click in. You only have one shot to do it. So if you say start taking your tort law exam and you realize that you really should have studied those elements of negligence a little bit more, you can't stop and then go back in a couple days after you've had an additional opportunity to study and start again. Once you start it, you have to see it all the way through. So when you're ready to take the exam, click the link for it, read the directions, it'll let you know how much time you have, etc. And then go ahead and click on Begin Assessment. Now each question is going to be on a separate page. This is just a real quickie 10-question exam that we're going to click through very fast. We're just going to choose C for every answer. I just want to show you a couple different functions in online test taking. One of the first things is you can see here there's a countdown clock at the top of the page. You can hide it if you would like. Some people find it helpful, some people find it mocking, whatever works for you. But basically what you're going to do is read each question, answer it, and then click Next to move to the next page. So answer it, and then click Next. Now let's say you get to a question and you answer it, but you're not quite sure if that's the right answer. You don't want to spend a lot of time staring at it, but you would like to be able to come back to it and check it again. You can answer it and then mark it for review. Move it right along to Next. Keep seeing it through. Now let's say you get to a question and you honestly have absolutely no idea what the answer is. You don't even want to wager a guess. Going to mark it for review and keep it moving. So each time you're going to answer and click Next, answer and click Next. We're almost done with this exam, seeing it through. Okay, we're at the last question now. We're ready to, no more Next. We're ready to submit for grading. However, we have of course marked some questions for review, and we need to go back and take a look at that. So you don't have to back it up through the entire exam. Most of your exams are about 50 questions, so that would take you forever. What you will do is click on the table of contents link at the top of the page. You will then click on this little black arrow next to where it says Part 1, 9 of 10 answered questions. And each one of the questions will come up as an active link. So if you have marked a question for review, there will be a little either red question mark or red arrow to the left of that question. Click on the link for the question and it will take you right back to it. So for this one, I think I want to change my answer because I know for sure I did not answer this one correctly. I'm going to change it. I'm going to unmark for review and then I'm going to save. Now when you go back, after you've marked something for review, when you go back and you make a change and you save it, you're not going to click Next. You're going to save it to lock it in. And then we're going to go back to table of contents and go back to our list. So you don't have to click through the whole exam. Just go through table of contents. So now we're going to click on the next question that we did not answer. We're going to see it through. We're going to lock it in, save it, lock it in, and go back up to table of contents. So I think that we've gotten to everything we need to. So we have answered all of the questions we marked for review. We've reviewed them already. And so now we will submit for grading. The site will ask you if you're ready to submit, and yes, we are. And off we go. You will get this thank you for your submission. You've completed the exam announcement or message. This is very similar to the message you will get when you have successfully submitted an assignment on ParalegalSpace. Now, as I mentioned, the day after the exam window closes, you can receive feedback for your exam. For this practice exam, you can take it as many times as you want. It's not like an actual exam. Again, I would encourage you, just as I did for the practice assignment, I would encourage you to give this a try at least once. Certainly, if you are having any technical difficulties, it is a lot easier, mostly on you, but I guess probably on me too. It's a lot easier to troubleshoot for you during the practice exam and not if you run into problems during the actual exam. Obviously, if you run into problems during an actual exam, reach out and I will help you. I will work with you. Don't ever worry about that. But certainly it's always good to give it a try at least once, just so you know what to expect and just so you are comfortable with the system. And if anything crops up, we can work together to make sure it does not crop up again during an actual exam. But when you want to take a look at the feedback the day after an exam window closes, and this one you get immediate feedback because it's just a practice, you'll come into tests and quizzes, and under submitted assessments, you'll see the name of the exam, and you'll see where you can get feedback. Now, this exam, again, you can take as many times as you want. It's quote-unquote graded just so you can get a sense of how the site auto-grades things, but it's not a grade that counts for anything. But you can just click through and see how it all works. Okay, so that is exams. Again, all of your exams are going to be done online on the site. So, do please be prepared for that. Okay, Dropbox we already discussed. Study support help. Now this is another area of the site where you can get additional assistance. It's a flash file. It can be a little bit temperamental sometimes. Sometimes you'll need to click on these little arrows to help things load. But you can see here at the top of the page, contents, search, print, glossary. If you click on contents, it will bring up right below a list of the most commonly searched terms, active links. If you click on one of them over here on the right-hand side, you will get an explanation of that term or concept. If you would like to search something, you can type the search word in the box, and then everything relevant to that particular search will come up. Click on one of them and get an explanation over here on the right-hand side. Then for the glossary, this is kind of an online legal dictionary with all of the, or many of the legal terms that you are going to come across in your reading and in your studies. Click on the word, and down here at the bottom, you will get a definition of that word. So certainly very helpful as you're learning a lot of these Latin phrases and crazy legal terms that will become second nature after a while, so don't worry about that. All right, textbook orders. This is the link where you can find book ordering information. Now, your essential skills book are required purchase through the program because they do include technology fees for the website and Westlaw and Lexis. So please do order them through this link. All of your other books, however, you can purchase wherever you would like in whatever kind of version you would like, new, used, Nook, Kindle, Rent, whatever works for you. Certainly everybody is starting with tort law as their first substantive. So at the beginning of the semester you will need your essential skills books and your tort law book. But you know, you're not going to study family law until what, like January, February, something like that. So you can certainly space out the purchase of the books. And again, you can order them however you would like in whatever format you would like. Okay, let's now go to the study support. Okay, so under this Para-Student tab, you will find study support to track each one of the chapters in your Essential Skills, Torts, Contracts, and Family Law books. As I mentioned earlier, we do not have the same structured study support for procedures because each one of those classes is developed by the various instructors. And for that, of course, as I mentioned, you will go to the Resources tab for additional information. However, for your other courses and for some other labs on demand and various tutorials and such, you will come here to the Para-Student login. Now, you're all going to have to register as PACE Fall 2016 Paralegals. You will set up a login with your email address and a password of your choosing because each time you log into the study support, your time within the support is tracked. Now, if you take a look at the facts about the tracking module, you will see that as a member of a campus class, you are required to accumulate 260 hours online in addition to time spent in class. Now, when I say that to students that I'm standing in front of, sometimes their mouths will just drop open and they're like, oh my God, I have a life though. How am I going to accumulate that much time? Don't fret. You'd be surprised at how quickly the time adds up actually, especially over the course of 5 months. We recommend that you log into the site whenever you're doing anything for the program to get those hours accumulated. Whenever you're reading, writing, researching, certainly log in and accumulate those hours. You do get out of the program what you put into it, so definitely putting aside the fact that there's a requirement for a certain amount of time online, you do want to work through the various resources on the site because they're here for you. They help you, they build upon what you're learning in class, they enhance what you're learning in class. Learning the law can be like learning a foreign language and not just thanks to the Latin, but it is a different way of thinking. It's a different way of approaching questions and concepts and just everything. So, you know, practice makes perfect. So you do want to work through the materials available to you on the site. This is a function that the university's asked that we add to the site because certainly if a student is having a problem, we want to be able to help them. We want to be able to kind of pinpoint what they could do more of, what we could do more of, and this was a way to figure out what work was being done outside of the classroom. Now, it is a quote-unquote requirement in the same way that submitting your assignments on time are required, taking your exams are required, coming to class is all required. It is not a program completion requirement, and that we will talk about when we get into the code of conduct discussion. But if, for example, we get to the end of the semester and you have 255 hours, don't worry. As long as you successfully completed the program per the terms of the Code of Conduct, you will get your certificate. But this is certainly a way to keep track of everything that you're doing so you can ensure you're doing everything that you need to for the program, and so that we can also ensure that you are doing what you need to do. But, all right, with all that being said, hang on a second, let me just go back here. When you are ready to log into the support, you will click on this blue lock. Now, the first time you are logging in, you will have to register as a PACE paralegal. So you will enter your information. Oh, I set up so many of these as I do PACE. Let's see, what should I be? Let's do PACE Fall 2 this time. I set up so many of these as I have been doing these walkthroughs. You will, okay, of course, select PACE University as your university and as your program. Please, 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 please choose PACE 2016 Fall on Campus. Fall on Campus. Please choose that one. you want to choose that one because you want to make sure that you get the correct support for your class. But if you have already set up your login and you chose the wrong support, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just let me know, and I will switch you over on my end. That's not a problem at all. Okay, once you have done that, agree to the terms and conditions and go ahead and register. So now we are going to log in, and I am SVP at pacefall2.com, password, and log in. So once we log in, at some point after you've logged in, I would recommend, early on to click on website features over here on the right-hand side. You can just read about some of the special features on the site, see how to use the site with your iPad, just various fun facts about using the support. You can also find here right in the middle your approximate hours, so you can track your time. You can make sure that you're spending enough time on the site, and you can see how much you have spent. Now, if you feel for some reason that the site is not accurately reflecting your time spent, or if for some reason you were reading and you logged in and the site logged you out and you need time added, we can manually add time on this end. So please don't worry about that. Just reach out to me. Certainly, after a period of inactivity, the study support will log you out. So if you're reading, for a period of time, you will have to, move things around to ensure that the site knows you're still there. Otherwise, people would log their time just by logging in and never logging out. So the site does log off after a period of inactivity. So please do, please do let me know if for some reason you have spent more time working than the site is reflecting, and I'll take care of you. Okay, but up here at the top you will see tabs for Essential Skills, Substantives, Labs on Demand, also Time Track. For Essential Skills, this is where you will find the support for your Essentials class. Now, your Essentials materials are broken down by segment, so please do be sure that the segment that you are working in online and matches what you are reading in class. So if you click on any one of the segment tabs, and for the most part, it will indicate on your program syllabus what segment you're working in at any given time. But click on the segment tab and you'll see right here, right away at the top, segment A, for instance, covers volume 1, chapters 1 through 6. Segment B then goes to volume 2, chapters 1, 2, and 3. So just make sure, you check which chapters you're working in online, that they match up with the chapters you have been reading. But what we recommend you do is read the materials prior to coming to class, come to class and listen to and participate in the lectures, and then work through the corresponding support online. Once you log in to one of the segments for the first time, I would recommend you read the middle part, the getting started part, what you're covering, what's going on, just all sorts of fun things here. And then basically what you'll do is just click on each one of these links on the right-hand side and work through the corresponding support for each chapter. Now, once you have finished the support within a particular segment, underneath the last chapter, you will find some additional links. The first one is the segment wrap-up. This is where you will find the first series of practice quizzes and tests and such that you can take to make sure that you understand the material, see where you're experts, see where you may need some additional help. You can take these as many times as you would like. No one sees them but you. They're not graded. They are for your review, for your assistance, for you in general. Mock exams, the same thing. Practice exams that you can take to test yourself, to prepare for your upcoming exams. You can take these as many times as you would like. You will also find here a where you've been link. This is a convenience for you if you would like to use it. Within each segment, you can check to ensure that you have worked through the particular support and the various exercises. So if you have worked through the support, there will be a little green dot to the left of it. If you have not, there will be a red dot. Now, to effectively use this function, you do need to make sure that cookies are enabled on your computer. So if you want to use it, make sure your cookies are good to go. But again, this is just a convenience for you if you would like to keep track internally of the support that you have worked through. Now, once you start clicking around segment A and you start getting comfortable in it, each of the other segments are set out exactly the same. So by the time you get to segment F, you'll be experts and you can take my place in walkthroughs next semester. For your substantive classes, now the substantive study support is password protected. So you can see right here to log into the substantive support, there's a username of Paralegal and a password of student. But when you click on the link for, and I've logged into this so many times that it doesn't even pop up anymore, but the first time you log in, it will ask you to enter that username and password. You will click on the edition of the book that you are using in class, which for torts is going to be the 5th edition. And then up here at the top of the page, you will find tabs for each one of the chapters. So you'll click on the tab for whatever chapter you are working on, and you can read a chapter outline. And certainly if you don't yet have your books, this is a great way to, especially leading up to maybe the first, I know some of you haven't gotten to your first torts class yet. Some of you may have just had your first torts class. I know it's a lot of material that you're doing in a short amount of time, so if you don't have your books yet, you may be getting a little nervous. It's okay, just come on in here to the study support and click through, read through the chapter outline, and you know, that will give you a good sense of what you will be reviewing in class. But for each one of the chapters, you'll find this outline. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll find answers to the questions in the book, various problems, projects, etc. And for each chapter, you will find a chapter quiz. Just like the various quizzes within the essential skills support, you can take these as many times as you would like. They're just for you, for your review, and they are very helpful. Also, you will find here at the top of the page there is a link to access the non-Flash version of the study support. So if you're having a problem with the Flash version, if you have a Mac or if this Flash is conspiring against you for some reason, you can access the non-Flash version. They are Word pages. You can still access the same quizzes. They're not as, they're Word pages here or they're PDFs here. They're not as flashy and fun, but certainly if you're having a problem with the Flash version, you would want to access the non-Flash. Now, one of the main questions I get on the site, oops, that always happens. All right, here we go. The spinning wheel, the spinning wheel. Sometimes students will say to me, I've been trying to log into the tort law study support and the spinning wheel has been going for 20 minutes. I said, oh, okay. The file is having a hard time loading on your system. The best way to alleviate that issue is to switch browsers. Also, don't ever sit and wait for something to load for 20 minutes. It's not called a spinning wheel. Somebody told me once what the actual name is, but it's clearly much more descriptive and easier to refer to it as the spinning wheel. But if you are seeing that, it just means that the file is having a hard time loading. A browser switch fixes it. I don't pretend to be a computer guru. I am a very good troubleshooter on the computer, but I don't have a reason as to why a browser switch tends to alleviate that issue. Please try switching browsers. That's going to be what I tell you if you reach out to me and you tell me you're seeing the spinning wheel and files aren't loading. Switch browsers. I use Chrome to access the site. I love Chrome to access the site. When I run into some sort of conflict, I will switch to Firefox, and that generally fixes it. But please do try a browser switch if you run into any issues, because again, that's what I'm going to tell you to do anyway. So all of your substantive study support is going to be structured in this exact same way: torts, contracts, and family law. So please do click around and work through it. Okay, then finally, labs on demand. 3 additional labs for you to make note of. The legal research lab. This is where you will find the law library lab, which if you went to an information session, whether in person or a webinar, you know that we have tons of slides about it. So when you are beginning your study of legal research, you would want to click around in this law library lab, familiarize yourself with the types of materials you will find in an actual law library or online. So click on one of the books in the stacks, And the site will find it for us. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can click on the various tabs here at the top and get information about these various materials, and again learn how to use them and how best to use what you find in them in your legal writing. Also, you will find here links over to Westlaw and Lexis to do the various trainings on those respective sites. So again, please do work through some of the training that you find on those sites because it really is very helpful. The Legal Writing Labs, this is where you will find templates for all of the documents that you will prepare in your Essential Skills class. So click in Legal Writing Labs and then New York Legal Writing Labs. And here at the top of the page, you'll find tabs for each one of your documents. Click on whatever document you are working on. You can get a template for this document. And then you can update that template for your particular client and fact pattern in class. And then over here on the right-hand side, choose your document to receive step-by-step instructions. You can listen to an audio lecture, and here you can get a step-by-step guide of the various components that you need to include in the particular document. So certainly do take a look in here. Use the templates. There's really no reinventing the wheel in the law. If I've drafted a suppression motion 6 months ago and I have to draft a new suppression motion, I'm going to take the one from 6 months ago, I'm going to take out the old facts, put in the new, double check the law to make sure it's still good, maybe add some new law, and then file away. I didn't note this in the beginning, but I'm also a practicing attorney in New York, and I've been practicing for about 15 years. And it's now gotten to the point where I can no longer say I can count on one hand the number of times I have drafted a document completely from scratch. Now it's probably in 2 hands. But we all use templates. Everybody uses them. They're here for you. They're helpful. Certainly, if you've never drafted a legal document before, you want to start somewhere, and the template is a great way to start. So please do utilize these templates. They are here to help you. And then finally, the final lab I want to bring to your attention here on the site is the Citations Lab. Once you get to the study of state and federal citations or citations in Essential Skills, this is where you can find practice in both reading and writing state and federal citations. When you look at a case name, you'll see a series of letters and numbers after it. It's kind of the address to the case in a sense. And you want to make sure that you can both read and write those properly. So just kind of put it in your back pocket for now. When you get to Citations and Essentials, please know that there is a lab here on the site to assist you with them. Okay, that is Paralegal Space. If you all have questions, please do feel free to start typing away. I am going to review the Code of Conduct real quick with all of you. I'm not going to read it word for word, but I am going to hit the highlights. Certainly, we are asking each one of you to sign this last acknowledgement page on the Code of Conduct. Sign it, acknowledge that you've read it, you understand it, you will adhere to its conditions. So certainly we expect that you will read what you are signing, so we won't go through it word by word. But I do want to point out some, just a couple things to you, just stress a couple things to you. But please feel free as we're going through this to type any questions you may have, because we're going to open things up to questions afterwards anyway. But attendance, of course, attendance is required. If you miss more than 25% of the Essential Skills classes, you will not pass Essential Skills. That's a lot of classes. You have to kind of make a conscious effort to miss that many Essential Skills classes because, of course, it runs for the duration of the program, the entire 5 months. So if you miss more than 25%, you will not pass Essential Skills. If you miss more than 30% of your substantive classes, and so that's about 1 class and part of a 2nd class, you will not pass that substantive class. So, things come up, though, over the course of the semester. So certainly if you have to stay late at work, if you're sick, if you have a child care issue, if you're trapped on the train, I get it, it happens. Please do just communicate with us. Please do let us know that you're having a problem. we will certainly work with you in that regard. In your substantive classes, class participation does count for 25% of your grade. So of course, if you're not in class, you cannot participate. So that will negatively impact your grade. But of course, if you communicate with us, if it's a documented absence, it will not negatively impact your grade in the same way as if you don't communicate with us at all. So please do just let us know. If you were late by more than 45 minutes to class, you won't receive attendance credit for that class. But again, we understand that if the subway is all screwed up, I mean, everybody's going to be late. So of course, that's not going to be an issue. But please do make every effort to attend class and to get to class on time. All of your instructors are practicing attorneys or judges in the New York area. I can probably count a handful of times when an instructor has been late to class, but in that event, they usually either frantically call or text me and let me know that there's an issue, at which point, depending upon where that particular class is, if someone from PACE is right nearby, I will ask them to just run into the classroom and let you know, or I will post an announcement to let you know. Again, that's only happened probably a handful of times. If no instructor has arrived by 30 minutes into the class and you haven't heard from anyone, that's never happened, I should say. And knock wood, it won't. But if 30 minutes goes by, you haven't heard from anyone, you can certainly take off. Okay, as far as your written work is concerned, we already talked about that when we were talking about assignment submissions. Your work is due when it is due by the due date and time. There is, however, a 1-week grace period for all assignments with a points deduction. So if you are submitting late work in essential skills, the first late assignment is a reduction of 10 points, the second 20 points, and the third will not be accepted. For the substantives, generally it's only one assignment that you will be submitting, so there will be a reduction of 20 points. So please do, and you'll know when your assignments are due. I mean, for essentials, it's set out there on the syllabus. But for your substantives too, you're going to have plenty of time. We're not going to post an assignment, one day and have it due the next. So please, please, please make note of your assignment due dates and times. All of your work should be prepared as you would prepare any assignment for any class anywhere. Type it, put your name on it, number your pages, double space. Please do also keep hard copies of all of your assignments and certainly electronic copies of your assignments. Hard copies because for essential skills you will be placing all of your work into your client file folder, which is that blue folder that you received or will receive in your essential skills package. Your essential skills instructors will be collecting those from you at the end of the semester, so you'll be asked to put your work in that file folder. Give or take, grades posted 14 days from the due date for essential skills and 7 days for substantives. I say give or take because, again, your instructors are attorneys and judges. We don't know if they're in trial, depositions, what's going on in their professional lives. So, things sometimes come up, and we certainly get things posted as quickly as we can. And your instructors, of course, will discuss timeframes and grading and such with you in their respective classes. As far as the grading breakdown is concerned, for essential skills, you'll have two components, the exam component and the assignments component. For exams, you will take 3 of them. You will take a Volume 1 exam, which counts for 25% of your grade, Volume 2, 25%, and a comprehensive, which counts for 50%. You must obtain a 70% cumulative or higher in the exam component of essential skills. For the assignments, you can see the weighting of the various assignments and the breakdown down here on page 3. Your instructors will discuss this. Your essentials instructors will discuss this a little further with you in class. Some of them mix it up a little bit, but you must obtain a 70% or higher in the essentials assignments component as well. In order to pass essential skills, you need a 70% or higher in both the exam component and the writing component. So If you write like Hemingway and get 100 in the assignments, but just exam taking is not your thing, and you get a 50 on the exams, you will not pass essential skills. So 70% for both. For the substantive classes, you will submit one short writing assignment worth 25%. Class participation is worth 25%, and your exam is 50%. Just like essentials, you must obtain a 70% or higher in order to pass that particular component and that particular course. Now, one thing I also want to point out as far as exams and assignments are concerned, you are all responsible for yourselves. You will be fully apprised of due dates and exam windows and assignment dates and such. If for some reason you cannot take an exam during an exam window, you cannot submit an assignment on time, it is your responsibility to reach out to your instructor and your administrators to let us know what is going on. We will not chase you for your work. If we do not see your work, if it has not been submitted, we will simply put a 0 in your gradebook. So please do be responsible in reaching out to us if you have any issues, and we are more than happy to work with you, but we are not going to chase you for work. All right, using the website, we already talked about that, 260 hours online. But just use the website, and putting aside the online requirement, it's there, it's helpful, it's really helpful. It's designed specifically to accompany all the materials and build upon them and enhance them and just be incredibly helpful to all of you in understanding the material. So please do work through the materials on the site. Please do read announcements. Sometimes I feel as if I'm announcing things to myself. We're not announcing things to ourselves. We are conveying important information to you. So please do take a look at what we post. And again, in the chat room, be nice in the chat room. If anybody should run into any kind of technical issue, I would recommend that you just reach out to me directly. Again, svp@paralegalspace.com, and I will take a look at it and assist you with it. As far as communicating with your instructors and your administrators, everybody will give you their preferred email address. You will receive a response should you email an instructor or an administrator within 72 hours. You'll probably get a response before then, but certainly within 72 hours. If for some reason you do not get a response within 72 hours, please feel free to follow up. Just don't send an email and then follow up 5 minutes later. All of your instructors and administrators are, of course, doing, just like you are doing other things aside from taking the paralegal program. All of your instructors and administrators are your instructors practicing law, judges, your administrators have other programs that they are running. I coordinate other programs, and I'm also practicing law. So, overall, all of us students, instructors, administrators, we all have a lot going on. So please do give us an opportunity to respond, but if for some reason 72 hours comes and goes and you don't hear from us, please feel free to follow up. If you need immediate assistance, if you have an emergency, please do reach out either to Jamie Liotta at PACE directly or myself directly, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Okay, ethics and plagiarism. Your work is all your own. We talked about this already. No group projects. Any written assignment that's plagiarized, the first offense, you'll get a 0 on that particular assignment. Second offense, you will fail that program component. Third offense, we will respectfully request that you leave the program. So please don't, a couple instances over the years that I've encountered, 2 students submitted the exact same assignment, they just changed their names at the top of the page. That's not okay. One time we had a student copy and paste directly from a website. That's not okay really under any circumstance, but it was a British legal website, so it was really kind of off the charts. One thing that you really need to be careful of, especially as you're doing legal research, you need to cite properly to your source. Certainly you can, you can cite as much as you want. You can copy and paste as much as you want from something. Analyze what you're copying and pasting, of course, because we want your own thoughts, your own work in there. But don't pass anyone else's work off as your own. If you want to copy and paste from a source, from a website, from a book, whatever, that's fine. Just make sure you properly cite to that source so your reader knows that these are not, in fact, your words. Also required to follow each and every rule when it comes to online test taking. We talked about this already. All the tests are closed book. No one's looking, of course, but we do expect you to follow the rules that we set out for you, which leads me into Rule 8, which I hate. It's a conversation I hate having. I don't hate the rule. It's a conversation I hate having with a group of adults. But we do expect you all to be professional, respectful to one another, to your instructors, to your administrators. I've heard all of the legal jokes that are out there. I get it. Lawyers are sharks, lawyers are this, lawyers are that. I've heard them all. But despite that, despite the bad rep the legal profession gets sometimes, lawyers do have to adhere to a code of ethics, a very stringent and strict code of ethics. The umbrella of that code of ethics falls over the paralegals as well. So we do ask that you are respectful to one another, to your instructors, to your administrators. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Okay, if you have not already done so, or if you've not yet started classes yet, we are asking each one of you to sign this code of conduct here on this last page. Acknowledge that you have read the code, you understand it, you accept it, you will adhere to its terms. So please do so either on the first night of class. If you have not done so already, do so on the second night of class. But please do make sure that you sign and turn in your code of conduct. I'm going to be going through them with Jamie at Pace, and we're actually going to be adding an entry to the gradebook and noting when each student has signed and returned the code of conduct. So please do be sure to do that, otherwise I will chase you. Okay, let's open things up to questions now. So if anybody has any questions, please do feel free to type them into the questions box and I will answer them. I would like to once again repeat my email address, svp@paralegalspace.com. Any questions you may have, please feel free over the course of the semester to reach out to me. I'm here to help you. I want you to have a great semester. I want you to learn a lot. You're going to work hard, but I want you to learn a lot. I don't want you to get caught up in, any tech questions you may have or just any clutter that you may be dealing with separate and apart from the material and understanding the material. So please do feel free to reach out to me and I am happy to assist you. I will, I will be posting announcements. As I mentioned earlier, I will be posting announcements definitely over the course of the semester in general, but certainly over these early weeks in the semester, just following up on a lot of what we have gone through this evening. In this walkthrough, just various helpful hints in navigating, taking exams, submitting assignments. I've already posted how to register for the study support and navigate the study support on each one of the sites. So please do keep track of those, take a look at them, and let me know if you have any questions. But no questions yet. So if anybody has any questions, type away. Otherwise, we'll call it a night. And I will certainly thank you for your interest, for your time here this evening, for your desire to understand the website and to utilize it as it is meant to be utilized. Again, I'm here for whatever you guys need. So I do really want you to have a wonderful semester, to learn a lot, to work hard. We're all here for you. We all support you. We want you to do well. And please do feel free to reach out if you need anything. So again, my email is svp@paralegalspace.com. I will see you all online on ParalegalSpace. And yes, I will be posting a recording of this walkthrough on each one of the sites. I've done a couple walkthroughs already. This is going to sound crazy. I hated all the other ones that I did. There was something just like off about each one, just from my perspective. So I'm going to post this one on the site, and I think that one of the sites already has one of the recordings on there, but I'm going to post this one on all the sites, so certainly you can review and just listen to me, wax poetic or go on and on, however you would like to define it. You can listen as much as you would like. So expect that posting tomorrow. It will be there, but otherwise, have a wonderful, wonderful evening, everybody, and thank you again for your time and attention, and I'll see you on Paralegal Space. All right, good night, everybody. Thank you.